All right. Welcome to another edition of the Blowing Bubbles podcast. In the house today, we have none other than Sharia Livingston, founder of Living Rich. Oh my gosh. Hey, how are you doing,
Hi,
beautiful?
I'm doing okay. Blessed to be here. Happy Sunday.
Okay. We need what can we do to elevate that okay to an outstanding? I'm gonna need to pump that up. What's up?
Right. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be on this platform with you today.
Awesome. We are honored. Okay, so I know you, but I want you to just tell everybody else out there in Bubble Land who you are and what you do.
Okay, so as she said, my name is Sharia Livingston. I actually do a lot of things. However, my highlights are I'm a mother to a beautiful 18, soon be 19-year-old daughter named Shemaya, who happens to be the co-owner or co-founder of our business, Living Rich. So we own a streetwear apparel brand that is based out of Cleveland, Ohio. However, the goal is to get it worldwide. My daughter is in Atlanta right now, so she's focused on building the brand out there. I am also a registered nurse. I have been a nurse for 12 years now, primarily doing travel nursing, but my focus has always been emergency room nursing. So I dip and dab into that every now and then now because entrepreneurship is kind of a full-time thing, as you guys know. And then I'm also an educator. So building my brand and building my business alongside my daughter, what I learned is that during my journey, I didn't have anybody to kind of guide me in the right direction, give me some gems, show me, the way. And it got me a little bit discouraged sometimes, but I vowed that I would be the opposite, when I got to a certain place that others aspire to be, which inspired me to build Rich Scholars. So that is my platform where I educate. I have a lot of focus more so on the youth because had I knew what I know now, when I was much younger, I would be Lord knows where right now. So I try
Wow.
to empower and encourage and inspire and give gems to the youth, but to other entrepreneurs, that may not know what I know and just need help being pointed in the right direction. Because I know what it feels like to be trying to build something and there's nobody around to assist you or help you out. Nobody, people are gatekeeping, and I vowed to not be that.
Yes. Yes.
So I created Rich Scholars. So, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Woo, woo. Oh man, so wait a minute. You gave us a lot there, and I want to make sure that I dig in and break down all of that. Okay.
Okay.
So right now you are a registered nurse, primarily travel nursing. You have a business that you and your daughter co-founded, Living Rich, and you
Yeah.
have Rich Scholars, your foundation to give back.
Yes.
And you are an educator where you're out here. I see the things that you're doing, and I'm gonna try to get into all of them. Oh my gosh. So I'm so proud. But I want to make sure that the people out there don't miss this major, major gem and understand the importance of where you are versus where you came from.
Absolutely.
So, your daughter is 18, about to be 19.
Yes.
Do you mind telling everybody how old you are?
I just turned 36 years old. So if you are a mathematician, you could imagine how old I was when I had my daughter. So I was a teen mom. Although I'm from Cleveland, I grew up in East Cleveland, which is one of the rougher neighborhoods in Cleveland. Um, and life happened, I never been ashamed of, the cards that God dealt me because I feel like he dealt them to me for a reason. He felt like I was ready for it. He felt like I had a purpose. And yeah, I was a teen mom and I encountered a lot of obstacles being a teen mom, still in high school, trying to graduate. Um, and just like I didn't have help in my entrepreneurship journey, I didn't really have help, in this motherhood journey in the beginning either. Shout out to my mom. That was the main person that was like down for me through everything. If I needed to watch my kid, she was always there for me. But like, and I have a big family, as you know, but I didn't really have the support that I needed as a young mom. And then I was looked down on because I was a teen mom. I was looked down on by my peers. I was looked down on by my family. I was looked down on by my teachers and by society in general. Back then, um, now you see a lot of young people pregnant, believe it or not. But then it was like super, super frowned upon. It's not like it's glorified now, but it was a thing, really, really frowned upon then.
In
Um,
some respects, I do feel like it is glorified now. But you tapped into something that is interesting to me. You said that the family, you felt frowned upon by the family.
mhm.
Um, and that is very interesting and unfortunate. We do have a big family. And for those of you out there, Sharia is my cousin. Her grandmother is my father's only sister. So,
Right.
yes, we are cousins, close cousins. Um,
Yes.
her mother is my first cousin. So, yeah, we are close. And
Yes.
I'm sad to hear that you
Mhm.
didn't feel supported in that regard. There's a bunch of teen mothers in our family.
Oh my God.
Oh, one of them, hello. One thing that I wanted to do, I brought that up because it is a part of my mission here with Blowing Bubbles podcast to highlight those young mothers who have made it. But in no regard do I want anybody to feel like I am promoting teen motherhood. Baby, I want everybody who did make it to tell the dark side of their story as well,
It
because
was hard.
I don't want y'all little girls out there saying, well, Blowing Bubbles said, no, Blowing Bubbles,
Right.
that's not what they said.
Living Rich made it, so I can make it too. Like,
So, I want you to take me a little bit through the journey of those days where you didn't know how you were going to make it from one day to the next. You felt like all you had was your mom, and you have this beautiful baby girl. So, what were some of those early days like as a mother, and what pushed you to get through to even have the audacity to go to nursing school?
right. Well, of course, being pregnant in high school, I missed out on a lot. I missed out on a lot. I didn't get to hang out and go to parties. I didn't really get to be in like celebratory mode after my 10th grade year, honestly, because I got pregnant when I was in the 11th grade. So that kind of, I know, I just always felt like I was missing out on everything, like my friends. And I had a close knit like friend group at the time, but at the same time, me being the only one pregnant out of the group was like, I
You
couldn't do everything.
were kind of ostracized in that.
Yeah, it was like I couldn't do everything everybody else did. And to some regard, some of their family were looking like, this y'all friend? Like, this girl pregnant?
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Um, so that was a issue. And then my daughter's father at the time, he didn't have the best family dynamic either. He was raised in the streets. He was raised in the streets, and the streets is all he knew. So I dealt with that also. And a little after my daughter was born, her father went to jail. So it was like, okay, not only am I a teen mom, but I'm about to have to raise this girl by myself. Her father had got a 10-year sentence,
Wow.
so it was like
How old was she when that happened?
one. She was
Wow.
one. He was actually in jail when I birthed her. Also, he was in jail when I birthed her.
Wow.
He got out when she was like 3 months, and then he ended up catching another case, and then he went back. And that time it was for 10 years. So which ended up actually being like 11 years. So it was a lot. At that moment, I was like, okay, I have to get my life together because one, I got like people, already count me out. I'm not really sure what I'm about to do, but what I knew is that I have to be the leader. I have to be the person that my daughter needs right now. Because if me, then who? Like, you know what I'm saying? She didn't ask for this. She didn't ask to be here. And not only that, I know all these people have everything to say, and I've never been a person that like take what people say and hold on to it. But I am a person that will make you a believer one way or the other. That my circumstances will not be based upon your thoughts or your opinions about me. My life is going to be whatever I want it to be, because I'm going to do the work, and God going to give me the tools that I need to get to where I need to go. And it was just going to be that, and I put that in my mind. And at that moment, that is where I really started to live rich. So before the brand ever came into fruition, it was already starting, then at that moment. Um, so I decided, okay, I had to transfer from, I was going to the regular high school, Shaw High School, but then I had to transfer to alternative because I needed to go to work. I
Mm.
needed to work during the day. And the hours that I needed wasn't available in the evening. If I stay at school till 3 o'clock, I can't get to work until 4 or 5 o'clock. And most places, most jobs that I was able to work at the time, they close at 9, 10 o'clock. So I'm not getting any hours. So I had to transition and go to alternative and go to school at night so that I could work during the day. So I would go to work in the morning till about 3:30 in the afternoon. And I was catching a bus when I was pregnant. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car at the time, so I would literally catch the bus, big and pregnant on the bus,
Mm.
go to my job.
In Ohio, mind you, so the
Snow,
weather
all of
wasn't
that
always
stuff.
friendly. Okay.
Listen, okay. So, and my daughter's birthday is in May, so just imagine those 9 months is pretty practically the whole winter.
Mhm.
So I would catch the bus to alternative. I would catch the bus to work and get off work, and then catch the bus to alternative high school, which was down the street from the regular high school. And then sometimes I would look out and get a ride from somebody, or I would have to catch the bus. Or if her father wasn't like indulged in something crazy at the time, I would ask him to figure out a way to get me home. But I did that, and luckily, thankfully, I should say, I still graduated on time. I walked across the stage with my original graduating class, no summer school and none of that type of stuff. I would study still. Once I had my daughter, I was actually going into the 12th grade, preparing for the 12th grade. And at that point, I was catching a bus to daycare to drop her off. And then going to school and going to work. So that is when my mother really kicked in, and she helped me out a lot, because although my mother wasn't able to do a lot of things for me financially, because she's still a single mom, I had a younger sister still. My brother was older, but I still had a younger sister that she was raising also. And she didn't have any help. So financially, I never looked for anything from my mother. I was just blessed that she was there for me to watch her. It was times that if my daughter was crying, in the middle of the night, my mother would get her so that I can get enough sleep to go to school in the morning, So I love her for that. I love her for that to this day, because if she wasn't there, that support I needed at the time. I needed a lot of other things, but I needed that
Mhm.
seriously at the time.
Yes, for sure.
So I did that, up until I graduated. And then at that point, I was like, all right, now what we gonna do? What we gonna do? And I was working and stuff, and I was making enough money to like take care of us to a certain extent. But I'm like, this not gonna be enough. I want to give my daughter a life that I never had. I want to give her a life I never ever had. I had to do something different. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to go to college. I'm about to go to college. Now, mind you, keep in mind, rewind a little bit. Before I ever had a daughter, before I was a mother, all this stuff, I always was into like streetwear. I was always
Mhm.
into streetwear, but because my mother was raising 3 kids on her own, she can afford to get us the things that I like to wear. Now, mind you, I'm going to school. I'm seeing people with the Jordans. I'm seeing people with the Tommy, the Polo, all this, the Anichi, all this different stuff that was in then. And my mother couldn't afford all of that. We would go shopping literally on our birthdays and get stuff for Christmas, and then like income tax time, we would go shopping
Mhm.
for income tax time. Other than that, and these kids are so fortunate now because they get stuff from their parents, especially my daughter, Lord, get stuff from their parents all the time. It's like I wasn't raised like that. I had a three-year thing. I mean, 3 times a year thing going on. Like I knew when them 3 times I was going to get something. Beyond that, it was like, look, you gonna wear what you got. Um, so I said, like, we would go shopping, and I was the kid that would like look at clothes, look at the prices, and look and feel the clothes. I don't know why I used to do that then, but I think it was the curiosity of me trying to figure out why certain things cost more than others. So like
Mhm.
we would go to the mall because she always would let us like around income tax time. She would definitely always get us a fresh new pair of whatever shoes we wanted, we would get it. And so we were at the mall. I would definitely go into other stores where they did have like the high end streetwear and look at the prices. And I'm like, oh, she ain't about to buy this shirt. She ain't about to buy these jeans. They cost, especially Tommy. Like I really liked Tommy back then. And my mother was not having it. She wasn't buying it. Polo, she was not buying it. So, but I would look at those prices, and then where we would end up getting our stuff from would be like Burlington. But when I would go into Burlington, I would look at the prices there and feel the clothes, and I never really seen a big difference. And it was like, now Burlington did used to have some like name brand stuff, but it would be like stuff they're not even selling in the stores, the regular stores no more, that people not buying.
Yeah.
Which is not popular at school. Like, I'm not going to school with this polo shirt. Nobody's wearing this one no more. Like, but anyways, I would feel the prices. Feel the clothing, and then that's when it dawned on me. It was like, this stuff, as far as the material and the fabric, there's no difference. Honestly, there's no difference from the $20 shirt and a $120 shirt. The thing is, it's the name. The name has made it
It's for the brand.
popular. It's the brand. You know what I'm saying? It's really nothing. People don't even care about the material. They don't care about this. It's really the name and the popularity. And the consumers have made it popular to where people don't mind spending $100, $200 on a garment. You can get the same quality garment for $20 at Burlington. And then that's when it clicked. I was like, one day I'm going to create my own brand that is not only affordable for people, they're going to get good quality, and it will mean something.
So you had this aspiration even before you had your daughter?
Yes, before I had my daughter. I just didn't know what I was going to call it or anything like that. But I'm like, I'm going to create something, where people can afford, because I like streetwear. I've always been that t-shirt, jeans kind of girl, and sneakers. I love sneakers. Like, I love sneakers. That was always my thing, but the stuff that I wanted, my mother couldn't afford. I clearly couldn't afford either. So I'm like, I'm going to do my own thing one day. But fast forward, and like I said, life happened. So that dream was put on pause for a while. So that fast forward, I enrolled into Remington College, because although I could have went to college for anything, however, in my mindset, and I tell people all the time, I never want people to think I got into healthcare solely because I wanted to take care of people, because that's a lie. That is not why I got into healthcare. Now, mind you, I'm a grand healthcare provider. I take care of my patients, top tier, like I'm a doctor. However, that is not why I got into that industry. I got into that industry because I needed something with longevity. I needed something that I knew I could have under my belt for years to come. And I knew it was healthcare.
So you just approached it from a practical standpoint, and you took the responsible route. Okay, I have a child. I need something that I can sustain a comfortable life.
Exactly. And it was self-care. That was just it. I didn't want to work in nobody's burger joint. I didn't want to work, which I did, as I was in school and stuff like that. I worked everywhere. I was Miss Keep a Job for sure. I worked at all the fast food chains, CVS, Walmart. I did it all.
Because Keep a Job. I like that.
Oh, I was definitely Miss Keep a Job. Anybody knew Sharia had a job. I never was without a job for more than 2 weeks. And that was probably me transitioning from one job to the new job. I was never without work. Until I became a nurse, and it was by choice, and I needed a break. Prior to that, no, I always had a job. So I worked at all these different jobs. I eventually got a car. So when I was able to get my own income tax, because I had a kid now, my first actual income tax check, I invested into me a vehicle, because I was like, I can't do this bus thing
on the bus. Yeah,
I'm not about to keep doing this. It's too much. I do a lot in a day. I got this big old baby. Like, I can't keep doing this. So I took my income tax check and got me a car. And I started. So my daughter's father ended up going to prison when she was a couple months after her first birthday. He ended up going to prison. So I was like, all right, he was there for my graduation and stuff like that, but my high school graduation. But right after that, he went to prison. So stuff really got real at that point. So I literally would just work, and save my money. Because I also didn't want to stay at my mom's house no more. My little sister got on my last nerve.
That's what always sisters do.
Literally, she drove me crazy. I was already arguing with her. And I just wanted my own space. Like, I couldn't I've never been that person that just I'm really a loner for real. Like, I like my own space. I like my own environment, my own element, my own food. Don't touch this, leave right there. I don't want my stuff where I left it type of person. Like,
it's all the same.
So I'm like, I got to get my own space. I got to get my own space. So I worked, saved up some money, and I ended up applying for low income housing, because I still couldn't afford regular rent yet. but I needed to get out of my mama's house. So I applied for low income housing. They ended up giving it to me. I moved on East 105th and right off St. Clair. So I was back dead in the hood. I ain't care though. I was like, you know what? I got my own space, so
Sluggish bones.
literally, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. It is what it is, and it worked out. I never really encountered too much craziness. I mind my own business. You know, I didn't get into nonsense. It was very much go to work, go to school. So I enrolled in Remington College during that time. Went to school, got my diploma in medical assistant slash phlebotomist, and I started working in a Lake West Hospital in Willoughby. So now at this point, I'm actually making some good money. I went from making like $10 an hour, $9.50, things like that. I jumped right into like $16, $17 an hour. So that was a big jump for me. So I'm like, okay, good. I can move out of the hood now. I can afford to pay some real rent and I can get out of here. So by this time, I packed me and my baby up. We moved to Euclid, Ohio. So now we're living a little bit better than on East 105th. And also, like I said, I wanted my daughter's life to be better than what I grew up environments I grew up in the whole nine. So she's never went to like a regular public school, and it was no shade to public schools. However, I wanted her to have a really, really good education. Like I wanted her to be challenged at school.
Mm-hmm.
So once we moved to Euclid, I found out about this school called Noble Academy, and the curriculum was really, really good. They wore dress code. I loved it. I did like interviews with all the teachers. It was very, very good, but I had to pay tuition. So I'm like, okay, how am I to pay this rent, tuition, put clothes on our back, food in the refrigerator, whatever, I'm gonna figure it out. So like anything, once you get used to a certain amount of money, you know how we get, we need more. This ain't enough no more. I gotta think. This is just no longer enough. So I didn't stop there. I was like, you know what? I am going to enroll in nursing school. This is all good, especially working in a hospital. I would go up on the units and draw patients' blood and talk to nurses and talk to doctors. I was like, I think I can do this. Like, I'm going to enroll in nursing school. And that's what I did. So while this time I was working full time at the hospital, raising my daughter full time, of course, and I didn't enroll in nursing school full time. To this day, people, I don't know how I did it. I don't have the blueprint on. I have no idea. I feel like it was just a lot of drive and energy inside of me.
I was going to say that is sheer determination, and you had a vision.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't quite understand the how at that point.
Right.
I don't care how. I just know it has to happen.
And
you had that resolve, and that was it. And you only focused on the end goal, not all the stuff swarming around you. Exactly. And I believe that contributes to how people make it, when you just don't look at your circumstances as obstacles. And you just look at, okay, I'm at A, I got to get to Z. I don't care about all the other stuff. So I really think that is important to highlight. You didn't know how, but you just knew you had to do it.
That's it. I love it. I had to get it done. So I was like, all right, whatever. I enrolled in nursing school, and it was up from there. And that was hard. Nursing school was so hard. Oh my God. I went to the hospital one time because I was like trying to stay up and study. And everybody in the school always has like these little anecdotes on like how to study, what to do, what to drink, what to eat, all this stuff. I never listened to nobody until this one time. So one time in particular, I had to stay really, really late to study for a very important exam because I could not fail this class. So I decided to go to the gas station and buy, it was like this Bumblebee like energy pill or whatever they sold at the gas station. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to take this Bumblebee because I have to stay up. I cannot go to sleep. So I take it. Boom, I got all this energy. I'm studying to the point I'm testing myself. I'm passing all the little tests with flying colors. I'm like, I'm good. I just need a couple hours of sleep so I can take this test. Couldn't go to sleep because I took the Bumblebee. So now it's like I'm fighting. I'm trying to go to sleep. What do I decide to do? Which I knew better.
You took another one.
I took a Benadryl. Because now I need to try to go to sleep. That didn't work out well for me because the Bumblebee was still inside of me, and I'm taking a Benadryl. So it's like now they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was.
For you non-nurses out there, There are drug interactions that are highly
Listen,
not recommended. Okay.
listen, that's what. Don't ever do that. So I did that.
I'm guessing you didn't have that NCLEX yet.
Oh no, wasn't even there yet. Not even halfway there yet. No. So I ended up in
This
the
is
emergency.
nurse talk. I'm sorry, y'all, but go ahead.
Listen, I ended up in the emergency room, and because I thought I was going to die, like my heart was racing at the same time. I was drowsy. It was just like a mess. So I ended up in the emergency room.
What a flatline for real.
No, seriously, that was the stupidest thing I ever did in my life.
Oh
I had to wake my daughter up, take her to the hospital with me. I was like, oh my God, because my daughter wakes up and her mother is on this floor. She gonna have a panic attack.
Oh my God. And how old was she at that time?
How old was my daughter? I want to say like 5 or something like that. I don't know.
So
6.
old enough to be conscious that something's
Yeah,
wrong.
something's wrong. So
Oh my God.
I wake her up, take her to the hospital with me. Luckily, the emergency room was pretty close to where we live. And I go to the emergency room. I tell them what I did. Do you know these people literally was laughing at me? Like the nurses in there were laughing. Like, are you serious? Like you're in nursing school? I'm like, look, I don't care. Just give me the IV. You know, flush me out, okay? Because I'm steady telling them I have to be on time for my test in the morning. So whatever y'all got to do, hurry up and do it because I cannot miss this test. But anyway, they got me out of there after they made 50 million jokes about me. Gave my well wishes, told me good luck. I went to school, I passed my test. Hallelujah. But that was probably the craziest thing I ever did. So
ladies and gentlemen, don't ever take an upper and a downer. Your heart is gonna do cartwheels. Okay.
Absolutely not. Not within the 24-hour time span.
Don't do drugs.
Look, don't do drugs. However, drink coffee.
If you happen to do something, don't do an upper and a downer. You just
don't mix the two. It's not a good idea. Don't ever mix the two. You heard it from Nurse Sharia herself. So yeah, fast forward. I ended up graduating from nursing school, top of my class at that. So,
girl,
yeah, one of the things. Don't ask me how. I don't know, but I did it. Don't ask me how.
The class. Okay.
I did it. My daughter walked with me, you know, and things just start to look up for us. Things got better financially. Me and my daughter's always been thick as thieves, but we got closer and closer. We started traveling. I had never gotten on a plane until I actually graduated from nursing school. That was literally my first time ever on a plane.
Wow.
My daughter's first time ever on a plane was when she was 9. So I was already changing the narrative for us. At that moment, I was like, oh, mama, make sure my daughter sees the world, you know, travels, meet people all over. Like I really had started exposing her to like have good communication skills, good customer service skills, being a people person, know how to talk to people, knowing how to operate in different environments when she was like way younger. So that kind of helped when we finally started business.
Really be mindful of that. Having the presence of mind to think, okay, what do I feel like I lacked? What things did my parents not give me, whether they were not able to or they just weren't there, whatever the reason, what do I want for my child? And I love that you thought that through from a beautiful place, not even from I ain't have this. You really thought, you know what, this is what I want my daughter to have. And by 9 years old, you're now starting to talk to her about life experiences and business. So take us through when you finally shared with her your dream from high school and how that snowballed.
Okay, great. So as I said, like my daughter grew up different than I had grew up. So she had got to the age where she likes to ask for stuff. So when we go places, she wants this, she's picking up stuff. So I used that as like a learning experience for her. And I would explain to her different like price values and stuff like, you know, you're not getting this because this costs this. And when you get a certain age, you know, you can get this, or you know, this is what you get as a reward, like making sure she understands the value of like material things, and also explaining to her what you don't need. You know, sometimes she will say, I'm like, and why do you want that?
That's good.
Why do you need that? Who did you see with this? Because I've never heard you ask for this before. So where did you see this at? That makes, you know, I started starting that type of conversations with her. So that's where the conversation started about this clothing brand. So me and my daughter have always been like a little bit different as it relates to clothes because I've always been like this tomboy, dress down type of girl. I'll dress up, when the occasion presents itself. For the most part, this is what I wear. Like her, on the other hand, homegirl is very prissy. Like my daughter, she'll dress down and stuff, but even when she does dress down, she gotta dress it up. She likes to like rip tie. You've seen her, like she likes to cut your shirts up and tie them up.
I texted her like a few weeks ago. I said, "Oh, you're gonna make me show out in these streets, huh?" She does. I said,
she might be Shemayan, okay?
You're gonna make me hurt somebody.
Listen, and she's been that way since she's been younger. Like I would lay her clothes out, and it'd be like a t-shirt or something, some jeans. I kept her with the fly kicks. Like that was a thing that I always, she inherited that. So kept her with some nice sneakers and stuff. Girlfriend had pull out some little kitten heels or something with the jeans. It's like you're not wearing that. You're not wearing that. You're not wearing that. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're going to school. You're not wearing that. Like so. Or I'll see her in school with her hair a certain way. She done changed. Like she always was doing something. So at that point, I was like, okay, she got her own little.
She got a little flair for style.
Yeah, she got her own little thing going on. But what if I could figure out a way to mesh the two and make it work?
Okay.
So I talked to her about my idea of starting our own clothing brand. Of course, she was on board. Now, this time, I want to say my daughter she was like 11. Yeah, she was like 10 going on 11. And I talked to her about us starting our own clothing brand. Of course, she was on board with it, but it was more so, okay, like what type of clothes are we going to do? And we had to figure out what can we both agree with, because I wasn't about to do something like boutique-ish style, like, dresses and tutus and all this type of stuff. Something where you can dress it up and dress it down. So it was like streetwear. Streetwear is definitely something that you can do both. You can wear a t-shirt with a skirt and some heels, or you can wear a t-shirt with some jeans and, some sneakers or a hoodie. Like you can dress that up either way you look at it. You can wear it to work. You can wear it to after hour. It's all about how you kind of shape it. So we agreed on doing the streetwear. It was a name part that was like, okay, what are we about? What are we going to name this? Now, mind you, I've already had my own experience growing up with understanding like why certain things cost this and what price is. I was already educating her when we go shopping, about the value of certain things. So I definitely wanted to incorporate that in our branding, because I didn't want people just to buy our stuff because it's quote unquote popular. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted a brand that grows popularity, but I didn't want that to be the only thing. I wanted something that delivers a message. I also thought about how I felt, when I was this teen mom, how people looked at me, and how, at a certain point I did feel like less than other people because my circumstances were different. I thought about all of that. So I was trying to figure out what we were going to name this. Not only that, I wanted something that the person that's wearing it can decide what it means to them versus, some of these brands you put on, they have a meaning. They come out the gate with a meaning. Either you get it or you're not, even down to like Christian brands. Some people don't wear Christian brands because, and they like the clothes. The clothes are dope. They look good, but they don't wear them because they don't believe in, whatever
message behind it.
Exactly. It's like, I like that hoodie, but I don't really like, the meaning behind that. And I wanted something where the person that puts it on can determine what it means for them. Okay. So that is how the name Living Rich came about. Now, a lot of people don't know this. We didn't know that Living Rich was like part of our names until it was brought to our attention.
Really? Wait a minute. You're telling me that you didn't intentionally mash up the two of your name?
No.
Stop it. Oh, no. So it's just dope.
That was not. Oh my God. That was never on purpose. That was never
Wow.
on
All
purpose.
these years I didn't know that. Okay.
That was not on purpose. I
Wow.
came up with the name Living Rich because literally just the meaning
The
behind it. And I
meaning
was like,
behind it.
yeah, I'm like,
It was
okay, living
absolutely.
rich. Yep, anybody can be living rich. You know, you can determine what rich means to you. That was the whole reason why I came up with the name. I literally did not realize it was our last names until I said it to somebody, and they were like, "That's dope. That's like y'all last names." I'm like, "What?" Livingston, Richardson. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, you're absolutely right. It is.
Oh,
So
I
that
love it
really
even more now. Okay.
exactly. So that made me feel like this is like divine. Like this is supposed to be a thing because I did not know that when I came up with this name.
Wow.
The meaning was always there, but the configuration, you know, what it made up, that was not on purpose
Wow.
at all. So
Oh, that's
he
so
got
beautiful.
he got
That
a
that
little
is
rich.
wow. I wasn't expecting that. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
So
Okay.
that is how that was birth. That was
And you
birth there,
officially launched in what year?
2015.
Okay.
2015. Yes, my daughter's definitely 11. Yeah, so 2015, that's when we launched. Now, crazy thing is, when we first launched, it was strictly for women. We were
Mm,
standing strong on like our women empowerment, mother daughter relationships. Like, you know, we wanted more so to help women feel like they were rich. Um, we launched a website. We're strictly doing it online, and my daughter had a blog on there. So every week she would post a blog on there, and we had like the comment section so people can make comments and stuff. And then I was like, okay, this website is not having enough traffic and stuff like that. Like I was learning entrepreneurship in the midst of me building my business.
hmm
A lot of things,
As most of us do.
excuse me, a lot of things. Thank you. A lot of things I didn't know. I was just learning. But this is where the start of, well, like I said, how I birthed Rich Scholars. Nobody tried to help me out. Like I was like reaching out to people that have businesses, asking questions. Like nobody even, and a lot of things came with a fee that I didn't have at the time. However, nobody even wanted to put like, well, look on this site or like go here. They didn't want to put me in the right direction. So
That's crazy.
I was really frustrated with that. And also at that time when we launched Living Rich, now there's like a lot of streetwear brands. Like they're always emerging, popping up. Then, other than like the big names, there wasn't a lot of like small streetwear brands. There definitely still to this day, I don't know of one that's a mother daughter owned streetwear brand.
Mm.
Now, although that's unique, it also kind of made people steer away from us because it's like, what do these women, two females, know about streetwear? Streetwear has always been a male dominated area. It still is male
For
dominated.
sure.
Women have grown into streetwear, you know, building brand new streetwear. However, it's still more dominated by men. And in 2015, it definitely was dominated by, you know, strictly men. So it was really hard. I already knew in my mind, like, it's going to be too hard to sell to men. So that was another reason why I'm like, we're going to focus on women, you know. So we started doing pop up shops. And what I realized is at the pop up shops that we would do, a lot of men would walk up to our table. And they would be like, well, we want to live rich too. We want to live rich too. And I'm like, well, it's just for women. We tell them like it's just for women. But it was so many of them. And I was like, maybe we do need to transition to unisex because honestly, more men walk up to our table than women. Now the women do buy from us because we only sell women clothes, but it was like it's more men inquiring about this. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, we're gonna transition this on 2016. That is when we transition into unisex. We transition to
Beautiful.
unisex.
And how much of a surge in business did you see after that transition?
Um, it definitely was a big change. Definitely a big change in sales. Definitely a big change in exposure. Definitely a big change in requirements because people were now, you know, like, and we still didn't have a store or anything like that, but people were like hitting us up on Messenger, like, do you got this size? Do you got that size? It was like, and honestly, to this day, more men still buy our clothes than women.
Wow,
It's
that's
so crazy
beautiful.
to me.
And you have a store now.
Yes, we
You
have a
have
store now. And we
okay.
have more men than women buy our clothes.
Wow.
So we
And
have like a, go ahead, I'm
where's
sorry.
the store located?
It's located in Cleveland, Ohio, well, Richmond Heights, Ohio. So it's 740 Richmond Road, Richmond Heights, Ohio.
Okay, okay. Is
Yeah.
it freestanding or you're in a mall?
It's in a plaza. It's in a
Plaza.
plaza.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's kind of freestanding, but it's like some other brick and mortar stores like connected to ours. So
All right. So
yeah.
take me on the journey or tell me about your journey of you've now had some success with Living Rich, you're expanding, you're growing, you've got a brick and mortar, and now you are in that phase where you're wanting to give back. Take me
Absolutely.
about that transition. Take me on that transition with
So a lot of people have watched us throughout the years. You know, a lot of people have watched prior to me, you know, starting this brand. They knew me from being a teen mom. They knew my story from becoming a registered nurse. You know, they watched the dynamic of me and my daughter just growing as mother and daughter as two individuals, figuring this out. Because you got to understand, I was raising a child, but also trying to learn how to be an adult and a mother myself. You know, I
you.
didn't have you know, the blueprint or anything like that. So it was like we both were in like a learning experience, like experiment or something. If I had to do it all over again, I think I would be a professional because I did it. But at every stage of my daughter's life is a new stage for me because that is my only child, and I had her so young. So I'm learning how to be a woman. I'm learning how to be a mama. I'm learning how to be a leader, a guidance counselor, everything
Y'all
else.
grew up together.
Literally. And people all to this day be like, "Are you guys sisters?" And I love it because it just lets me know I still have the fountain of youth on my face. However,
And
my
you're
daughter,
gonna have it, baby. Let me tell you, as your big cousin, our family was blessed with the DNA.
yes, yes. My daughter like, "That's my mom. That's not my sister." I'm like, "Girl, stop hating, okay? If
Right.
they want me to be your sister, I'm your sister, okay?" And she don't like that. But during that, it was like, you know what? Now I want to be the person that I wish I had. Any way, shape, form, or fashion, I can be that. No, I can't do it full time, but whenever the opportunity presents itself, I want to be the person I wish I had. So when people reach out to me asking whatever, if I have the answer, I was giving it to them. It wasn't like, oh, you have to pay me for this, you have to pay me for that, or it's like, oh, go to this site or go to this. I started going to trade shows out in Vegas, and when people would ask me, like they'll see me posting or whatever, and people would ask me like, well, how do I do this? I send them the link. So I'm not registered. Like I've been trying to figure out this for years. Nobody told me. I don't know why. Because what I always felt like what's mine is mine. You can't take what's mine.
Baby.
My story, mine is already written. If my business is going to be successful and be known around the world, it's already going to be known around the world. There's no competition here. If my business is going to fail, it's already in writing that it's going to. Like there's nothing you can do to
Exactly.
hinder me. Only I can hinder me. So hey, go for it. Like you know, you're not stopping me. So
It's like the saying, lighting another candle. A candle lighting another candle doesn't dim the light of the first candle.
exactly.
Like, I
It
can
makes
help
the light shine brighter that we
you.
all shining, you know. So
Now we're
it's
all
like
shining.
it doesn't.
Exactly.
And if I can be the person that helped you, even if you surpass me, that's okay. Because I know when you reach a level, you're going to remember what I did for you, and I might need you. I just might need you, you know, to help pull me up. So if you
Absolutely.
can remember me, that I was there for you before you got to a certain level, that's a win for both of us. So I'm never really, you know, stingy as it relates to information. And that is what inspired me to start Rich Scholars. I wanted to start Rich Scholars. I was like, this is going to be my platform. I don't want to necessarily mesh the two too much
Right.
because I like to educate, I like to teach, and this can be another opportunity for me to grow in another area. Because ideally, when I was building Living Rich, because I'm, you know, you got to think I'm just getting older at this point. I wanted to build an empire for my own family. I wanted to build something with my own family because what I came to realize for me, like traveling, meeting so many people from all over the world, is that the Black household nowadays they teach this, but when we were growing up, they wasn't teaching about generational wealth. They
Entrepreneurship,
wasn't teaching us,
finances,
yeah.
none of
They
that.
wasn't teaching us that. They was teaching us get a good job, don't get fired, move up in the company. You know, they was teaching us about starting your own thing, building
Right.
something for your household. But when you look at other families and other, you know, dynamics and nationalities and stuff like that and races, they embed that. You know, a lot of them children are grown or born into wealth. They're born into businesses. They born into empires. Now,
Yes.
that's not the situation with me and my daughter. We're building one together. However, the goal has been for me to gradually move behind the scenes and let her run this to build it for her family, and then her family build it for, you know, and keep.
Yes.
That's my way of trying, and I don't know if it's going to work, but that's my way of
It's
trying.
gonna work. Yes, it's gonna work.
That's
Yeah.
my way of trying, you know, because
Yeah.
somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. So, you know, I wanted to build something of my own also for that I can do even when I'm great, you know, and I'm older. I can always educate, and that is why I decided to build Rich Scholars, because my daughter's a fashionista. You know, the older I get, the more I don't care about what I have on.
And it, yes, yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, so I don't want that to reflect in our business because it's apparel. So
Mhm.
that's something for her to take over and grow, where I can be in the back end and still, because I'm a nerd in the day. I like to study, I like to learn, and I can make sure the business operations are running properly, but also have my own platform to educate the ones coming up behind us, beside us, and even the ones in front of us that we know something that they don't, you know.
Mhm. I
So
love that you do that. Um, Sorry to interrupt. One of the things that I see so much value in, that I think people need to understand the level of, you're not just saying, oh, go here to this website and do this. Like, you are literally out here teaching people the game of trademarking
yes,
and the meat and the bones of what makes businesses thrive and be successful. You
mhm,
are not just doing the gloss over Google search type of teaching.
right.
We'll make sure that people understand what you're really doing. Tell some people how you really what you're educating on. Just a couple bullet points on the things that you're doing and why you do that.
Yes,
Not just the
absolutely.
because you wish you would had, but how important it is to business.
Absolutely. Um, a lot of businesses are built without the knowledge on the how, the whys, and the foundations. And honestly, ours was honestly built off that I learned as I was going along. However, there's a lot of important factors into building a business that people don't realize. And one is making sure the back end is straight. You can make it look good, you can dress it up however you want to, but it'll be so much easier to lose it if you're not building it the proper way. Um, and ownership as well. Everybody likes to say, "Oh, I own this and I own that." You
You
know,
really
do you really own it? You think you do?
do, you really? Yeah.
Yeah. And I act. That's literally what I say at the end of, like, in the middle of my speech when I'm teaching. Like, I'll ask somebody, like, who here owns a business, and everybody wants to raise their hand. I'm like, "What do you own? What do you own? What do you own?" And I say, "Well, do you really own it?" And they're like, "Yeah, I own it." You know, I'm like, "Well, what did you do to make you feel like you own it?" "Well, I created the name. You know, I have an LLC. I did the
They
EIN.
think they got that EIN.
Yeah, they got.
Hey,
I
there
got
you
a big
go.
bank account. I opened a store. My name is on the lease. This, that, third." And I'll say something like, "Okay, well, what if this business that you have is like actually very good business, very unique. But what if Beyonce likes it too? And what if she wants it? Then what?" "Well, that's Beyonce can't steal my business." I said, "Can she can't?" And then that's when it's the eyebrows raised, like, "What is this girl talking about?" Like, technically she can, because Beyonce has more resources, more access to capital than you. She has a bigger platform than you, and she has more money than you. She has better lawyers and everything than you. But there's
Yeah.
certain things that nobody can fight, no matter what level in the game you are in. And there's trademarks, there's patents, there's copyrights. You know,
Right.
certain things that's in black and white. I don't care if I had $10 to my name. If I protected my business prior to putting it out there, P. Diddy can't steal it, you know, because it's mine. I
Right.
created this. I had the vision and I stamped it. So that is what I'm educating and teaching people, and not only educating them on it, teaching them how to do it themselves. Because another issue I ran into when I started is, and I studied and I knew about trademarking, but I couldn't afford to have somebody trademark for me.
Right.
Attorneys wanted $2,000 to do a trademark.
And
And
that's
it's like, I don't have
low level.
no, seriously, like it was like I can't pay that. I need that money to get inventory or do some marketing. Like I don't have $2,000 to pay for a trademark. So I educated myself and I trademarked Living Rich. Not once but twice. I also trademarked Rich Scholars, and I also trademarked many other people's businesses. But
So you said you trademarked Living Rich twice. Why?
yes. So the reason I trademarked it twice because the very first time, although I did it the proper way, there's a thing called classes with trademark. And I only put Living Rich under t-shirts, although I knew I was going to do much more with Living Rich. So I trademarked it a second time, which at that time I really could have just paid to add the classes or add, the other categories.
Pretty much amended. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I was learning. I was learning this game. So I trademarked the second time and I added everything up under it. Of course, now I know a lot. And that was, 8 years ago, 7 years ago. I know a lot more on it, but I've educated myself so much with trademarking. Like I know the ins and out. I know how to trademark anything. I've even had lawyers call me on behalf of their client because they wanted my name.
Wow.
You can't have it. You can't. It's fine. I'm not signing anything, so that you can operate under the same. No, it's mine. And I thank God I did that because had I not and had it, now fast forward 8, 7 years later, I would be highly upset, because I was so big on like trying to put it out there and, grow the brand and not grow the business on the back end.
Mm-hmm. I just met this lady at a trade show last week,
Uh-huh.
and she has a beautiful thing going. She makes candied pecans,
Mm-hmm.
and her and her helpers had on these really cute aprons, and I asked her did she have any to sell because I would have bought an apron. I thought they were cute. And she was like, no, I didn't do it because I could only afford to trademark the candy. I didn't trademark for everything. So she didn't trademark anything other than this. And I think that is so important that people understand those classifications.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, you will mess yourself all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll think, I got a trademark, and you'll put something else out, and that thing is not protected.
At all.
And I love that you said that because I probably would have forgotten,
Yeah.
that.
And there's so many other pieces to it because I know everybody can't afford, to even do the trademark. So I actually decided instead of me like doing everybody's trademark, people paying me to do their trademark, I'm very big on educating yourself.
Create fishermen. No, don't give me a fish. Teach me how to fish.
Exactly. I was literally about to say, the saying, I'd rather teach you how to do it because this is probably not going to be your first right idea.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pay me to do it every time?
Or now you gotta pay me every time, right?
Every time, because although I'll give you information like the importance of it, the website, I'll give you all that. Actually doing the application and doing it right is another thing. Government filing fees are not refundable. So if you don't do it right, you're not getting your money back.
Come see me again.
So now you got to come see me again because you attempted to do it on your own without being properly educated. So I decided to create a course. I created a course in which I give people a 6-month license. And a lot of people say, well, why do you do a license? Like, why can't we just have access to it? Because if I give you access to this for a lifetime, it's going to take you a lifetime to do it. If I put an update on
it. Hold them accountable, cousin.
Yeah, you're going to get it done. So if you're going to spend $600 for a course and you have 6 months, you're going to get it done in 6 months. If I give you a lifetime to do it, it'll just be sitting there until you find time to do it. Now you done waste the money.
Right. You got that right.
So that's why I did it like that. But I created a course. They get a 6-month license, and it literally goes through everything related to intellectual property. The focus is trademark, but I teach everything in there. I go through what it means, why you should do it, alternatives if you don't have the money to do it right now, what you need to be doing just in the event that someone, because there are some things that will allow you to still protect yourself to a certain degree if you don't trademark. However, you do have to have an attorney though to help you push, the things that I mentioned in my course. But I teach you all that, and then I give a bonus at the end, and I actually show you about copyrights. A lot of people don't know how to do copyrights. Right. So, in my
course, a lot of people don't know the difference between copywriting and trademarking.
Yeah, all of that's included in there. I give the breakdown, one versus the other. There's literally videos. That's another thing. I'm also the queen of no fluff. I don't like to go to events. I'm not paying for events where I'm not learning anything. And it's okay to be inspired. I tell people all the time, like, I don't mind being inspired. What I'm going to do after I'm inspired? I need something tangible. If I'm going to pay to come somewhere, I need something tangible. Okay? Inspire me, but give me something I can use today when I leave. Or I'm not spending my money.
And that's how I am. I do transformational coaching. I don't just do I'm a motivational speaker. I done hyped you up and now you fall flat tomorrow. Right. No, I need you to be able to take anything that comes out of here and go to the next level. Exactly. Turn the corner, go down don't leave people flat. I love that you do that.
I can't stand it. So in this course, I'm telling you, it's jam packed. And then they not only have that, they have access to me for that 6 months. They're able to reach out to me. I have discussion boards on there. They can ask me questions. And at the end of it, I literally include a video of me doing a live trademark application. Like they literally see me go through each step. So it's like, even while you're doing it, if you need to revisit back, you can do, both at the same time. And you can also reach out to me and ask me the question that you have, so that was my way of like teaching people how to take ownership of the things that they feel that they're building.
Okay. So just for purposes of this, this interview, give people a high level explanation of what a trademark is and what somebody needs to say, okay, my logo, Blowing Bubbles Podcast. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's a thing. It's a podcast. Mm-hmm. I have a logo.
Right.
What does Blowing Bubbles need to trademark? And what is a trademark as it relates to Blowing Bubbles?
So a trademark is your source identifier. That is how you identify your brand, business, or your product. So you want people, when they see that logo or when they hear that, you want people to identify with your business or your brand. That is a trademark. It is a source identifier. You have to get it protected federally. Also, a lot of people get confused with like a state trademark, because you can go on your state website, just the same place you do your LLC, and they have trademarking on there. And a lot of people get that confused with federal trademarking. State trademark only protects you with that state. So if you do your state trademark and you're in Georgia, you only protect it in Georgia. I can start a podcast in Ohio called Blowing Bubbles Podcast if that's what I wanted to do, because you only protected yourself in Georgia. Federally trademarking, you federally across the U.S. are protected. No one in the U.S. can use that brand name or that brand logo for, that's another thing, the same purposes of yours. Now, if someone wanted to start a Blowing Bubbles shoe line, if you don't trademark Blowing Bubbles under that category or class, they can do that. I'll give you an example. Dove soap, Dove chocolate. They are both trademarked, but they're two separate purposes, separate entities, so they're able to coexist. Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, that's something that people have to understand. However, if you don't trademark, it's fair game. And then you run into a legal battle of having to show proof of who was using it first. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you're going to have a pretty good lawyer to even win it for you. Because even if you...
And a lot of money.
A lot of money. A lot of money. Because even if, say, for instance, I decided to start a show, Blowing Bubbles, and I started in Ohio, and I go and I actually trademark it. And you find out, and now you're like, I've been had this and third, and, you try to take me to court. But where's your proof at? I can say I've been working on it and I trademarked it. Because I trademarked it before you decided to do it and it got approved, you're going to be fighting me for that. And you better make sure you have a lot of money and a good lawyer because I'm going to fight for it.
Yeah, because you could be sending people to the wrong website. You say, just go to Blowing Bubbles podcast, and then this other podcast gets all these downloads.
Yep.
Because I didn't properly do the work up front. And I love
it starts. It starts when you become popular. So let's say you get a interview with someone that does numbers and it starts to go viral. That is when somebody's going to try to steal it. Right. And if you did not trademark it beforehand, good luck. That's all I can say, because
there's literally people who lurk for that person slipping. And your whole brand identity gets swept from under you.
Yeah.
And you have to change. There's nothing more hurtful than something that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, and you get that cease and desist. Yeah. They're just waiting on you.
Yeah. You just mentioned cease and desist. My course also includes a template that you can download and, change the wording for a cease and desist, an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, a work for hire agreement. And I teach what all these things mean in the course as well. So it's like you're getting a lot.
Do you include an NC NDA or just the NDA?
I just include the NDA. Yeah, I just include the NDA.
So I'm big on NC NDA. I've been in and around. I've been exposed to business since I was a toddler. My parents had a production company. I don't know if you ever knew this. My parents had a production company. My father is a dynamic writer and funny dude. My mother sings like an alien. And they had a production company, PAP, Performance Arts and Production. And my dad wrote sketch comedies like In Living Color. Mm-hmm. So my daddy was like Keenan Ivory before Keenan Ivory was Keenan Ivory. Mm-hmm. And so I have been exposed to this my whole life. And we talk about legacies. People don't understand what you do and expose your children to will absolutely have a ripple effect on generations to come. Everything that comes from you comes from what you do. So the things that I do and I know in the relationships that I have are because of my parents.
Right.
And so the questions that I have been asking, I'm so glad that I was able to ask a question kind of lightly and you took it exactly where I wanted you to take it. And it's not because I don't have the knowledge. I want the people out there to understand, because that's not what I do. People try to ask me, especially copywriting. I have hundreds of written songs because I am a lyricist, but this is not what I teach.
Right.
And so somebody who is actually teaching it and they figured out how to package that, I want to make sure that they can, really put it out there. And I'm getting better as an interviewer. So I thank you for helping me to figure out how
you're phenomenal.
I want to figure out, how do I ask this question without sounding like I already know the answer? Right. So this is everybody out there. I want y'all to understand this. We are growing. We are all, I am doing something that is different for me. I am naturally inquisitive from a scientific standpoint, but from people in their business and they're saying, I don't really get into all that. So it's a challenge for me to really learn how to conduct an interview. And so I'm so grateful that my cousin was gracious enough to grant me this interview and to help me.
I am honored that you wanted to interview me.
My God, you are so dope. I really, I love being transparent, and I want the people who become fans of the Blowing Bubbles podcast. This is going to be one of the earlier episodes. I haven't numbered them yet, but Sharia, where her story is at, this is going to come out in 2023. So I want to put the date on the record, 2023. Absolutely. I'm not dropping the specific date, but understand we're going to later on play this back, and we're going to basically have a testimony. Absolutely. 5 years, 10 years from now on how far we have both come. One of my biggest inspirations is Oprah and the Barbara Walters and people like that. I want y'all to see going forward what our legacies are going to look like in the future. We are interconnected because we are blood relatives. By no means make that confusion.
Exactly.
I always will have her back. Her baby is like my baby. She had an issue here in Atlanta where I'm at, and she
Yes, I
called
call her like cuz.
me. Believe I pulled up. And
Yes.
so this is definitely a genuine loving relationship, but I respect and admire her so much.
Thank you, cuz.
For everything that she has done. I knew her story, but I want y'all to know iron sharpens iron. So she's helping me become a better interviewer. And whatever help, if my cousin ever need me, it's on. I'm there. I'm
And
there.
that's and I appreciate you and I love you so much. I wish you was living in Cleveland when I was younger.
And I wish that I knew so much of the things that you didn't know as an entrepreneur. I know you shared with me earlier, I think it was earlier this year, the things that you were struggling. I'm like, why didn't you call me? Like, she didn't know what I was into. Because I've been in business. I created my first business in 96.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been deep in business.
Right.
But I knew the things, I know now the things that I needed. Like you said, you wish you had a youth.
Mm-hmm.
My first business, I was in like construction. You know how many people, first of all, if I look like this now in my 50s, imagine how I looked 30 years ago.
Right.
Wasn't anybody taking me seriously. I'm trying to launch a construction company. Well, I am a whole entire carpenter. I went to trade school. I'm a union trained carpenter. So
yeah, I seen when I came to your house. I'm like, this girl's over here building stuff.
people weren't taking me seriously though. So and I had really reached out to all the boys in the hood. I was like, what you doing with all that money you getting out there?
Right, exactly.
And one by one, they all fell. You know, and then when they came back on the streets, the ones who didn't die, when they came back on the streets, they didn't have anything. And here I am still plugging away. I'm still out here building. I'm still out here growing. I'm still an entrepreneur. So I didn't have those resources and the information. And I had people who were talking to me about business, but talking over my head. And so I'm so proud of you for just persevering. Oh my gosh, you have been. You could have used. You had a million excuses. And you could have rested on. Oh, I'm like a 16-year-old pregnant girl. Oh my gosh, I don't have any help. Oh my gosh, my daughter's father. Oh my gosh. But one thing after another, it's like what could have been an excuse turned into a launch pad for you to just continue to propel you forward.
I always say I turn my struggle into my strength.
Woo! Bores.
Listen, and I don't want anybody to ever get confused. This entrepreneurship journey has been crazy. One thing people don't understand, social media makes entrepreneurship look like glamorous, and it's not. You know, when things get, one thing about being an actual owner, a real business owner, is everything falls on you. There's the risk, there's also the reward, and there's the responsibility. And when things get crazy, you got to pick up the pieces. Right now, today, you know, what month are we in? We're getting ready to be in May, you know, of 2023. And I run my business. I have started back working as a nurse also, you know, and that's because things have gotten slow. Like I say, I'm very transparent. I never want people to look at me and think, oh, she's made it. She's just, I'm still growing. I'm still learning at every stage. And this is what I did in the beginning of my business. I poured my income into my business until my business was able to pay for itself. And when things get slow, that's what you have to do because you're the owner.
That's right.
You're the owner. That's what I'm doing right now. So I still am not getting sleep right now because I'm working as a nurse and I have to run this store because if I don't have enough employees, guess who gotta put the poker face on? Sleepy or not. Absolutely. I have to. But I'm okay with that because I'm going to be able to teach someone else based on my own experiences. I want to be able to teach someone like, hey, don't quit that job yet.
You made 17 sales and you ready to write your
No. And it always have, I don't care what nobody say, always have a plan B and a C. What I teach my daughter right now is multiple streams of income. I do a lot of things for free, but please believe everything is not. some things that I teach, it comes with a price.
Mm-hmm.
Nursing, that comes with a price.
Sure.
So I keep those things because one of the businesses that I have may not do as good, and I'm gonna need those other two or those other three to help me pour into that one that's not doing the greatest. So always
Yeah.
think about more streams of income, because one in today's world is not gonna do
It's not, it really never has been. It's
it.
just we were trained to get a good job. All we knew was that job, that
Right.
job, that job. And so I love that you have learned not only to go get it, but how to diversify. That
Mm-hmm.
is so very important. I am so grateful that you were able to carve out some time and join us here on the Blowing Bubbles podcast. Um, Anything big that you have coming up that you want the people to know about?
So we are actually gearing up for our 8-year anniversary, which will be June 12th. So right now our focus is, honestly, like I said, I'm very transparent, it's clearing house. We're clearing house. We're having a big sale in store and online. You can visit our website at IamLivingRich.com. We are also on social media at IamLivingRich.com. We are looking for people to share their stories. If you take a look on our page, on our social media page, you'll see that we have individuals that are expressing how they define their rich. So if you're someone that would like to do that, we will give you free merchandise and you can show the world how you define your rich. Let us know. Shoot us a DM. You can also email us at info@IamLivingRich to show interest, because we want to see people defining their rich. If you are interested in learning how to be a real owner of your business and learn how to trademark, you can look up my course and learn a little bit more about the course on learn.richscholars.com. If you want to just keep up with me and what I'm doing, building my brand, motherhood, and all that good stuff, you can follow me at Rich Girl Rhea on social media.
Awesome. That's my little early blowing bubbles version of sound effects. We get the little air horn. I am so proud of you, cousin. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
very much. I know you have another meeting to get to. Thank you. I look forward to all of your growth and all of your success, you and your beautiful daughter. I
Thank
will
you, guys.
always be here to support you. I
Love
did a
you.
whole Living Rich photo shoot. I got to send you my images because
Yes.
yes, I love
Yes.
it. I love it. I am
Thank you.
always
You are amazing. Congratulations on this
you.
platform. I am excited for you. I look forward to all the wonderful interviews and you going viral. So I can say, look at my cuz. He's big like the Breakfast Club out here.
I receive all of that. I receive it. I
Yes.
receive it. Yes.
I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much. And as we always sign out, make sure y'all stay popping.